Nostalgia, a sentimental longing or wistful affection for the past, typically for a period or place with happy personal associations. Nostalgia is often a word that is thrown around to justify or beat down a person's opinion on an older game that they may enjoy. There has been many occasions online that I have seen the comment, "You're just nostalgic for the game, it's not actually good. Take off the rose-tinted glasses and play a real game, and get good." Though there are a lot of occasions where that very well may be the case, like my experience with going back to the newest entries of the Pokemon series. Click the video appearing here on the screen now if you want to see how that went. But there's also a lot of occasions where a person liking towards a game is more than just the nostalgia factor. I had to sit down with myself for a second to think, am I one of those people that's just nostalgic for the entire Pokemon series? Why do I keep feeling inclined to go back to this series that has been on the decline for years now? And I keep watching all these YouTubers online playing randomized Nuzlocke runs of Pokemon Kaizo and all these fan-made Pokemon ROMs. How did Nintendo get me so invested in a series more than any other franchise that even I decided to make similar Pokemon YouTube content? And that brings us to today's video. I'm Regret&ReverieGaming. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you want to see more similar content like this. Having that said, let's get right into the video. It was February 24th. I just walked into my local Target to get some general grocery shopping done, and like most people, I got sidetracked and started to look at every section just to see if anything catches my eye because my money is burning a hole in my pocket. I go up and down the aisles and I stop at the game section to look at the displays of every game I want to play but don't have the time to. I see Scarlet and Violet and I cringe a little bit, but nothing out of the ordinary. I continued to look around and found some awesome Pokemon figurines of the legendary Pokemon Rayquaza, so I put that into my shopping cart. I see the Lego Pikachu that my friend bought me for Christmas. I go into the bedding aisle and I found this huge Jigglypuff that sits in my girlfriend and I's room. When looking through the food aisle, I saw some fruit snacks in the shape of Charmander and some other starter Pokemon. And of course on my way out, I always stop in the trading card section just to see the new sets that came out. I'm more of a Yu-Gi-Oh guy, but I always love enjoying looking at the artwork that's displayed on the Pokemon cards. After debating on whether or not to buy anything, I woefully walk out of the store with nothing but my bare essentials in hand. But did anyone else notice the trend in my story, or am I going crazy? Every aisle that I stepped into, everywhere I turned, I found something Pokemon related in some form. Nintendo has turned a small game, originally released on the Game Boy, into this monster multimedia franchise that spans everything from trading cards, to movies, to even toothbrushes. Even if one would want to get away from the Pokemon series, it is nearly impossible because anywhere you go, you're going to have a Pikachu shoved down your throat at some point. This is a big reason why I keep going back to the Pokemon series. The franchise is bigger than just the games, and since it is a multimedia experience, if a newcomer was to come into the series through the trading card game, they could jump into the games and expand their knowledge of their favorite cards through Pokédex entries, the battling system where they can further learn about more type advantages and natures of the Pokemon, and then, if they want to go down the rabbit hole even farther, they can watch the movies or anime to experience a more narrative-focused adventure. This allows us, as the consumer, to fully envelop ourselves in this universe they created, and even if we aren't feeling up to playing the games, we can go back to, I don't know, Pokemon Trazi on the DS to play a puzzle game, or better yet, just load up Netflix and watch Pokemon Concierge to have a laid-back night and just turn off my brain. We are starting to see other companies such as CD Projekt Red start to adapt the same strategy that Nintendo has employed and applied to their game Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk was completely broken upon launch and had to even take it off of the PlayStation Store so they could avoid further reimbursement of the game. To many people, this game was deemed as a commercial flop, and even if they fix it later down the line, would anyone even come back to it? Then seemingly out of nowhere, Netflix released the Cyberpunk Edge Runners anime that not only released to critical acclaim by many fans, but revitalized the player base and had all the customers that lost faith in CD Projekt Red complete the game they had just reimbursed back when the game first launched. Cyberpunk is now an expanded universe with novels, the Edge Runners anime, and an alleged live-action adaptation in the works. All of this has led to a resurgence and insane fanfare for the Cyberpunk brand, and turned a profit on a series that they were going to give up on. And now, they plan to make a second game. This might not have been possible if the anime was not created and turned Cyberpunk into a multimedia franchise. Now comparing Pokemon to the other monster catching games, we can see that Pokemon is leaps and bounds ahead of its competitors, but we can also see other companies want to create the same environment that Pokemon sits in, and create multiple different ways to experience their universe. let's take a look at Temtem for a second. The CEO of Crema, I hope I'm saying that right, came out the other day and stated that big updates for Temtem is not a viable way to sustain as a company. They are still going to be releasing smaller updates, but they are now creating a new game called Temtem Swarm, which appears to be a roguelike top-down action game. We have fans of Temtem upset over this, but I have to ask the question, why? In creating this new game, they're allowing the fans to experience a new way to play with their favorite Tems in a more involved gameplay style, and also diving into a new market which they can then funnel into their original MMO experience. This might actually expand the life of the original Temtem game, and if they continue to see growth in their IP, they might expand further and create an animated series. Let's just take a quick look at Power World as well, since Pocket Pair has seen a lot of success after initial release of the game. After about 2 weeks of Power World being on the market, we had the CEO tweet that they are preparing more for fans and showed a brief glimpse of what looked to be a Power World trading card game. And off to the side, we had small POW figurines. In today's market, if a game plans on building itself up to be a series, it needs to expand into a multimedia franchise in order to sustain itself and have longevity in the gaming space. Pokemon and other Nintendo franchises, such as Mario, have laid out the groundwork and architecture for other franchises to follow. I think of Pokemon, I think more than just the games. I recollect all the times watching the anime and seeing Metagross battle for the first time, and also having that Jigglypuff song stuck in my head for the rest of my life. I remember buying my starter set for the TCG based on the starter Pokemon I chose in Diamond and Pearl for my first playthrough. If you didn't pick Infernape, you were just destined to lose, I'm sorry. And lastly, even in my adult years, when I saw the map maker at the Renaissance Fair and found a Sinnoh hand-drawn map, you know I had to buy it. Nostalgia does play a factor in my decisions when it comes to me coming back to the Pokemon series, but it's not the only factor. I have so much content from the series to digest and process that I constantly want to be engrossed in the universe. The Pokemon name is more than just a video game series. It is a way of life, kind of like Shrek. And if other companies want their games to survive, and they need to learn to adapt and create the next Marvel universe. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the content, please leave a like and comment on the video. If you loved what you saw, subscribe to the channel for weekly videos. And if you like me and you think my outlook is kind of unique, check out my band CZYK. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.